Hi, my name is Angel Jimenez and I'm taking SDI FTH 212-53128 Striker Fire Pistols. My instructor is Mr. Richard Manser. Today's August 11th, 2024, and this is week 5's final assignment. And the items that I use for my research would be Google search, the lectures, and our SDI provided books as well. So for the first part, using the Striker Fire handgun as a demonstration piece, show and describe all the areas in your firearm that you are particularly interested when inspecting the health of the firearm, and explain why these areas are of a particular concern. So first of all, I'm gonna lock my weapon to the rear, drop my mag. Is empty. Physically and visually inspecting that the weapon is clear. I have no live ammunition on my workstation. So when it comes to checking the health of a firearm that I receive from a customer or from a distributor, I'm going to always inspect the weapon when I receive it to verify that there is no damage that I can physically see. Make sure annotate or notify the customer that, hey, there's damage on your slide, your sights, your barrel, or your frame. I'm going to check to verify that my slide lock works, that it on the last round, or if I rack it to the rear and I can lock it and it locks, that I can release it when I push it down. My mag release, that it locks my magazine and that it releases my magazine when I depress it. This magazine has dummy rounds. I'm going to make sure that I look at the mag well, making sure that there's no damage to the mag well, no cracks, no deformities. And I'm going to check the inners of the trigger control system, making sure that everything is in correctly, there's no damage, that it's not sitting there flopping around, making sure that my pinholes that are holding each the trigger lock and my fire control, that the holes are correct and they're not oblong. Making sure my trigger can be reset, and if I was to pull the trigger without the safety blade being depressed, that it doesn't fire. If I press the safety and the trigger, then it fires. Coming to the slide and making sure that I inspect the guide rod and the spring, making sure that there's no damage, that it's not rusted. Looking at the barrel, verifying the barrel, checking the diameter, the outer diameter of the surface, checking the crown, checking the rifling, make sure there's no pitting, gouges, or anything stuck inside of the barrel. Checking my feed ramps, the locking, making sure that everything is correct and not damaged. If there's any damage, notify the customer that there's damage to their barrel or anything else. Checking my sights, make sure that they're on there correctly and snug, and that they're not sliding off on their own. Making sure that my Striker Fire pin cannot protrude through the breech face. Checking the safety plunger, and then seeing if I can have my Striker Fire pin to protrude through the breech face. So that, making sure that my safety plunger is working correctly, my extractor works. Okay, part 2, identify 10 different learning experiences you have had throughout the course and articulate why those were learning experiences for you and how you plan to strengthen those points in the future. So part of one of the learning aspects was stippling. That was something new to me. I've never done it before. I've always wanted to, but was nervous because I wasn't sure how to do it. So I've watched a ton of videos and on the subject before I tried to do it. I didn't do it on the pistol. I did it on a AR-15 pistol grip. I did 2 of them plus the test plate. Replacing, learning how to replace just the trigger shoe for a little bit better quality trigger system, or even drop-in trigger systems. Lightening, using different springs to lighten your trigger pull, different recoil springs and guide rods for lesser slide weights, different types of slides for your firearms, whether you have relief cuts, lightning cuts, or even RMR or MOS cuts for red dots. Different types of sights, whether they're the generic Glock ones or blacked out ones or True Glow or night sights, or even red dot sights. The use of the stone files that we obviously we use them in our last class, but this class using them for certain polishing areas that I wasn't sure that needed to attention when it came to purchasing a brand new one. I knew that with the P80s and like the PS daggers and all those, the ones that are that you put together, the clones, I know that a lot of times those you have to file certain areas, but I didn't know the areas that we had to file to make it better prior to polishing. I thought you would polish and then file. So that was something new that I didn't know. The different types of trigger systems for any of the pistols or the Glocks, whether it be a drop-in system, just replacing the shoe, or the different types of springs, or even different types of ejectors, different angles for ejectors. The different types of slides, as I said, whether you're using ones with lightning cuts, relief cuts, laser engraving, cerakoting, just anything different with the different slides, stainless steel and stuff like that. Let's see, different types of barrels for different applications, whether it's just a regular one that you're going to be using, whether it's for self-defense or for just turkey shooting, or if you're going to go for competition shooting, the different types of barrels, whether they're threaded, ported to help with, they're ported to help with the rise, threaded if you can, so you can add a comp to it or a silencer. So, and then different types of coatings for different applications as well. Recoil springs, making sure that if you replace this and this rod, that you go ahead and you replace your other springs, whether it's your trigger, your trigger springs, or any of your springs you're going to change, so that way, or your slide, if you're lightening your slide, making sure that everything is correct, so that way when the slide reciprocates from firing, that it operates correctly. Framework, everything from frameworks wasn't new to me, as far as like stippling, undercuts, double undercuts, gas pedal, so that you have a place for your thumb to rest on. The different types of coatings that you can put on your firearms to change the colors, whether you use dirt coat or Cerakote. So that those are different aspects to change the color or the design to make it customized and personal. Also, the different types of cuts for red dots, whether it's MOS or RMR, so that it would accept certain plates for certain red dots. So yeah, that was something that I didn't know. I thought all red dots fit the same way. I didn't know that there was a different cut and different plates for each branding. So that was something that I learned. Let's see. Identify one modification you would like to make to your firearm. So now that I challenged myself on learning how to stipple, I think I'm gonna attempt to stipple this pistol, and along with stippling, I Cerakote. So I might go ahead and Cerakote it. I might add mag flares to it, and then for the slide, just basic, I think I'm gonna add one of these slide back plates, add the comp, so it's gonna look like this, and then with a light and laser, that way I keep it somewhat to the original, and that way I don't, if it was to be used as a home defense, it won't, I wouldn't be sued, because it's not major modifications. For major modifications, I would buy the stuff already made, because I have no room to have a CNC or a lathe in my shop to have to cut and modify. And I would just use it for basically going to the range, planking, maybe try my luck at competition and see from there. So with the stippling, so I can enhance my pistol grip on it, and then everybody I know, all my friends have black Glocks, so customizing it with a customized stippling job and a Cerakote job to stand out from the rest of my friends and stuff. And then I'm probably gonna get a slide as well, with the red dot cut, so that I can install a red dot. Let's see. How much time would it take to complete this modification? I think it, since I'm just learning, so it probably would take me probably like 2 or 3 hours to learn, not to learn, but to sand it down, mark it off, the design I want, stipple it, and then Cerakoting, since it's polymer, it's, removing all the trigger system out of here, and degreasing, sanding, and Cerakoting, probably another, let's say 2 hours. So probably a total of like 5 to 6 hours of the modification for this frame and slide. How much will this modification cost in material goods? So like I said, I Cerakote, so it depends on what size paint I'm getting. If I'm getting a 4 ounce or larger, it's like anywhere from 50 bucks with shipping of the smallest up to the larger ones. Can be like 120 bucks for just the Cerakote paint to have it shipped to me, and to do the job, I'll say for the customer, I normally charge like $100 to do a lower, and then another $50 for the upper. So like $200 for a whole pistol, and then the prep work and all that stuff. So about $250 would take to do the Cerakoting and then stippling, probably another $150. So looking at like $350-400. How much would you charge if you were to perform the modifications to you on your customer? So I said that already. Does this rate align with the rates of other gunsmiths near you? Conduct outside research to answer this. So there are other gun shops in our town, but there are only myself and 2 other shops that offer gunsmithing, but only myself and 1 other gun shop offers Cerakoting. So for a Glock, if you purchased a Glock from them and they Cerakote it, they're charging almost $1,300 to $1,400 depending on the model for a Glock 19. And I'm charging, if they were to buy this and Cerakoting, just a Cerakote as a modification, just one color that they're charging. If I was to charge one color and the purchase of this pistol, it would be in the ballpark of about $850, $900. So there's a big contrast in what my competitor is charging and what I'm charging. All right, thank you and have a great day. Bye.